All right, gentlemen, we are now feeding live, and I'd like to welcome everyone. I'm Mike Paulus. I'm town manager for the town of North Branford. I'd like to welcome you to our weekly briefing and thank the team that's assembled today. Joining with me on this briefing, Fire Chief Seward, Police Chief Halloran, Jim Buck, Emergency Management Director, and Scott Schoonmaker, Superintendent of Schools. We're hoping to have Mike Pascasella, who may be joining us a little bit later, who is the Director of the East Shore Health Department. So Mike is always keeping us up to date, and we hope that he can join us, although he's a very busy person. As we do every week, our goal for this briefing is to bring you up to date on what we are doing to combat COVID-19 and provide you with reliable information and resources as we try and get through this pandemic together. We like the broadcast to be interactive, as well as hope that you can participate and share with friends and family, and don't hesitate to post or send us a comment. We have a public comments email set up. It's simply that, public-comments@townofnorthbranfordct.com. You can send us an email that way. And we also have our town website, www.townofnorthbranfordct.com. You can always reach me there. And our police, fire, EMD Facebook pages are another way to get in contact with us. And of course, a wealth of information on those sites, in addition to, as I mentioned, East Shore District Health Department website, the State of Connecticut Department of Health, and the governor's website. And that's where you'll find all of the executive orders that the governor has put out, very detailed. That's where you'll find those. And I always like to thank our doctors, nurses, healthcare professionals, and staff, first responders that are reporting each day on the front lines. Thank you for all that you're doing to help those that are positive and sick, doing a great job. And obviously, many communities are pulling together doing great work as we try and get through this together. I like to just continue to say that each and every week. I don't think it's said enough. So thank you for everyone that's out there on the front lines. And with that, I'll start with the traditional update on the numbers. Currently, as I clarified last week, these are running totals. So we are now in North Branford, we have recorded 80 confirmed cases of COVID-19, and unfortunately, 4 fatalities. Of those 80 positive cases, 43 cases reported in North Branford, 37 cases in Northford. Last week, I reported 68 cases, so there's a jump, 12 cases, and that's a small jump. So we need to be cautious and continue to monitor, obviously, that we're doing a slight increase there. We continue to actively look at the active cases, which are much less. So the trend has been slower than it was in March and April, but we're obviously not out of the woods yet. So we continue to look at that, look at those numbers, and we get those daily from the health department. And the state also posts, that's where you'll find the information on the state site as well. This is a highly contagious virus, and we'll have to continue to do what we're doing. So we say stay safe by staying home. You must go out in public places, maintain the 6-foot distance, wear facial covering or mask when you interact with anyone, wash your hands thoroughly, and of course, if you are not feeling well or ill, contact your doctor immediately. So that's the report for now. I'm thankful that we're able to get Scott back on the briefing today, as we had a little snafu 2 weeks ago. And last week, we talked about the fact that we were preparing for an event for Saturday, May 16th, which was the free mask giveaway, which was very successful. And I'd like maybe Jim Buck to recognize you and the team's effort for what I thought was a very smooth. We had a few hiccups, but otherwise, I think we were very adaptable and flexible and meeting the surge that came through. And I know you had some stats on that we were really, really positive in terms of the turnout and the way we were able to get that through. So maybe Jim, you want to kick us off and let the public know how successful that was. I think it was about 18,000 or so in terms of masks, 18,500.
That's right, Mike. 18,550 masks distributed on Saturday. It was a big collaboration, like you mentioned. We had representatives from the fire department, police department. The superintendent of schools opened up the facility for us. We had Public Works helping us out, and we had a big push, big assistance from the town of North Haven CERT team. So putting all those individuals together, we were able to distribute the masks in as smooth a process as we could. I appreciate everybody from the town that came, and everyone did so in a proper manner. It went smoothly. So thanks to all those that helped, and for all those that showed up to make sure that you're protecting yourself, which helps us all as a community stay protected. I think that as we transition now into various phases of reopening and restrictions being relaxed, it is so important that we continue to maintain the proper social distancing. We are entering a holiday weekend. I'm sure everyone's going to have a good time. There are a couple of really nice days on tap for the weekend. I think after some rain overnight and then early tomorrow. But we need to keep in mind the guidance that's existing and that continues. So we're looking at restricting gatherings to no more than 5 individuals. I know that's not a large number, but that's the guidance that's ongoing. And it's important that we follow that and that we are smart about this process. The restaurants that are open for outdoor dining, I would expect them to be busy, probably get a lot of traffic. So we need to make sure that, not even just in the dining experience, but even in a waiting environment, that we're doing so carefully and cautiously. And of course, we want everyone to enjoy the outdoors. We're hoping that the effects of the virus are minimized and reduced. There's a lot of science we still don't have on that, so I don't want to theorize that, or we definitely don't want to be overzealous in our return to normalcy and forget some of the basics. So I think that's my little summary of how things went this weekend. We are trying to prepare our town residents best we can. I will recommend or remind small businesses that through the CBIA link, they are able to sign up for protective equipment that is ongoing, and we encourage them to do so. The town picks up that disbursement of equipment when it's ready. In some cases, they've been allocated, but we get everything we can, and we then follow a process of notifying the business owners to come down to town hall and pick that up. And I'm sure the town manager can speak more to how that process has gone, but everything I've heard is that has gone smoothly.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. It has a steady stream of business owners coming in to pick up their supplies, and that's been great. I thank you very much for that, and thank you for your efforts on Saturday. As you mentioned, we are trying to do what we can to get those masks out, and as we go through partial reopenings, and do it in a safe manner. And as far as I know, and Chief Halloran, if I can call on you, I know you were out there early. And, we had cars piled up there at 6:45 and reaching out into Route 80. But as far as I know, I think everything was done smoothly and there weren't any accidents or issues that I'm aware of. So I think we got it done safely. And I thank you very much to the department for all your efforts.
Yeah, it was funny. I was out there at 6:45 and Jim was already out there hanging up signs for the traffic patterns. And they were lined up all the way out to Route 80. We moved them up quick, and no problems. It went really well.
Great. Yeah. Thank you very much. And Chief Seward, I know you helped us out with some photos there, and you were on site as well. And for your observations, you've seen a lot of different incidents and events. How would you critique how we did on Saturday?
Mike and Jim and Kev, I think I would give the town an A+. The ability to distribute at short notice through the public notification system, code red, by different signs placed in time. It was an unbelievable job, well coordinated. The Citizens Emergency Response Team from North Haven were instrumental in disseminating the masks. And it's so important. And I'll just go back on what Jim said earlier. It's so important at this point as the state begins to reopen and people start to mingle among one another, that in fact you do use a mask. It's interesting to note that our medical experts tell us in the EMS field that please remember that masks don't prevent somebody from getting sick, but they prevent the spread of disease. And by having a mask on, the exhaled air that potentially could contain a virus or an illness, 95% of that is limited to less than 6 feet of projection. So it quantifies the reason of wearing the mask versus not having a mask on. So as simplistic as it may be, you're actually doing a lot for mankind by putting the mask on. And that's so important. So we just got to keep that up.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Chief. I appreciate the comments. And, you're right on point with the masks. And obviously we've got another population, beyond the business community. But as our next segment here, talking and bringing in our superintendent, is about keeping our students safe as well. And so I know that Scott's got his hands full with the order by the governor to shut down for the remainder of the school year, but got to look at summer school, summer camps on the municipal side, and also what the fall is going to look like. And so we're working behind the scenes already with Scott about trying to look for supplies. And the mask issue is going to be a tricky one. There's no doubt about it. So we'll continue to work on that. But this time I'd like to welcome Scott and if you could just tell us a little bit about what's happening on the Board of Education side and what it means, what the impact is with that with the governor's executive order.
Great, thank you, Mike. Gentlemen, it's good to be here with all of you. I wish you a great long Memorial Day weekend. Let's not forget those men and women who so bravely served so that we could sit here and have these conversations and take the time to remember them. So we've been busy, as you mentioned, with the other departments preparing and stocking up our PPEs, getting ready for our reopening and reintroducing students and staff back onto the public school grounds. Our first piece will be the summer school and potential summer camp preparation, which we are actively doing at this time. And that will segue then into the end of the summer and hopefully transition back where students are back live on campus. So as you know, there are a couple of scenarios out there. If we do come back and it's in an altered sense where it's partial days, full days, opposite days, we're going to have a plan in place to make sure we're able to continue our distance learning. So we're in week 9. We've had incredible success of getting our technology out to our students. We have well over 1,000 pieces of equipment out there. We have a tech team on round the clock for any problems. We have assisted them with internet issues and setting up hotspots around town. So it really has been seamless. It's a great deal of time, effort, and work on the behalf of our teachers and administrators and on our families. These are times where many parents are acting teachers at home, monitoring, assisting while they're working from home, or they have to find daycare. So there's a lot of stressors right now. And I think it's important that everyone understands that, part of this will be getting them back onto campus and actively engaged again in the normal setting, but also the psychological ramifications of being away from their peers and social situations and other struggles that they've had to witness and overcome throughout. So this is multifold, and it's going to be a lot of teamwork and group effort to successful. You are aware that, with the graduations coming for our middle and high school, we've had to alter our plans. We're going with a hybrid plan that the state recommended 2 weeks ago. And we are notifying all of our students in the middle and high school today, 8th grade and seniors, what that will look like. And I think we're doing a wonderful job of trying to honor them in a non-traditional way, doing as much as we possibly can to keep everyone safe while, commemorating their successes through 12 years of public education. And it's a very difficult time for our seniors. My heart breaks for them. They've missed out on so much, not only with graduation, obviously, but with their spring sports seasons, their proms, their social activities, the play. So, we have to be there to support them. And I want to thank the town for always being there when we reach out for assistance and being there for us.
It's great. Yeah. And so tell me how many are graduating? How many high school seniors are graduating?
I think we're at 137 seniors that are graduating on the 11th of June. So we're gonna stagger and do some things so that we can everyone's safe in a drive-through type situation where we'll be distance and clapping for them as they come through the lot. We're doing virtual things and collecting pictures and photographs and speeches and doing some live things to give them a little memento of something that we put together for them. It's a team effort, and we're going to go out to the homes next week and deliver caps and gowns and yearbooks, and we're working with DATCO bus service and our staff to go out and safely get those items to them and try to formalize this as much as we possibly can for limited interaction.
That sounds great. Yeah, I understand and feel for the students and their families. It's a big moment in their lives, and unfortunately, this has disrupted them in a great way. And like you mentioned, the social impact. I don't think we'll fully know that without having that social interaction and that that friendship and camaraderie, all that goes with it. It's a big moment, and it's sort of taken away. But I think what you're doing is great. And if there's any way we can be a part of it, just let us know.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, and what about what are the dates again on summer school is going to happen, or is that
we're going to notify next week. I have a meeting on Tuesday afternoon with Dr. Nalfo and East Shore Health, and we're going to just go through guidelines and walk buildings and look at appropriate space and how we would distance. And there's a number of things that come into play, and we have to have the ability to screen and test and provide masks for those students and keep them separated, no cross mingling. There's quite a bit that has to go into it, and we're going to set ourselves up for success by getting started next week and making sure that we can adequately provide those requirements.
Mm-hmm. Great. And then I know not to put you on the spot, nobody's got a crystal ball, but anyone know what the fall might look like, or are they keeping that close to the vest in terms of the state? They're
definitely keeping it close to the vest. I mean, there's been some things floated out there with different scenarios, but I think the sooner that we find out, the better, because obviously the resources and what we would need to do throughout the entire building for bus transportation is extensive. And the more heads up that we get, the earlier it will allow us to then prepare. I think they've set the phases out for, slowly opening the state through phase 2 and phase 3. And in phase 3, when you look at the numbers of those that can collect and be safe, it's far fewer than what we have for student population. So that being said, I'm hoping by early July, it would be great in June, but by early July, we know exactly where we stand. And I think it's just these data points that you've mentioned. When we look through the month of June and we see, where we're at with hospitalizations, with, positive cases, and where that flattening point is, and moving forward.
Right. That makes sense. We're doing the same thing on our end, trying to put together plans and procedures for, a partial reopening of Town Hall in June, but again, more likely just appointment only, looking at the data, waiting to get through June and see what those numbers look like. And again, full consultation and guidance from the health director and the state as well, and the information that Jim Buck's getting. So we're cautiously proceeding. A lot of things that have to be put in place in terms of modifications with Town Hall. We're counter spaces that start to look like, your supermarket with the the plexiglass guards
Sure.
and sneeze guards and things of that nature. It's a whole new, way of doing business that we've got to take a look at. So I can understand completely what you're up against and in terms of trying to do what you can in planning. And we're trying to get the word out to the public through these briefings as much as we can. Wish we had more detail, but again, that's the state controlling the process. And, we'll do the best we can to communicate that. So it's a work in progress. And anything else you want to add on the school side or the school Board of Ed community?
Well, just to, steer the course. We're looking at June 11th as our last day, and we're within 13 days of that date. And the community, the school community, has been wonderful with their resolve and their ability to really adapt to something that's very different that we haven't done before. So the end is in sight. We need to take the summer to regroup and replan and rethink how we're doing things, and just to finish strong over the next 2 weeks, to keep the work and effort in. And then we get the break and we'll regroup. We'll honor our 8th graders and our seniors, and we'll take it one step at a time.
Right. Great. Well, thank you, Scott. And I appreciate you joining us today. We are going to talk now, segue to the phasing in approach. As you mentioned, we're in the phases of allowing restaurants to open up. And as most of the public knows by now, part of that phase was to have barbershops and salons open up, but that didn't happen, and that's been postponed at the last minute. So we're working with the health department. I'm sorry we don't have Mike Pascasella joining us, but we have been preparing, and we do have information on our website to streamline the process for business owners, restaurant owners. We have links to various other sites and collaborating with East Shore and the state for the information on the hair salons and barber shops and general guidelines for helping assist businesses. And it hasn't been easy. So our town planner, our building official, fire marshal, police department as well, all reviewing to streamline and post that on our site, those applications, and to allow the temporary outdoor seating as permitted by the governor in his executive order. So we've been real busy to processing those, and we'll continue to do so, giving them up to 90 days to be able to do that, and then obviously they can apply to try for a permanent. But all of you know this is a ever evolving situation, and so we try to be as flexible as we possibly can. So I know that businesses are calling in, and we'll do the best we can. I don't know if anyone else on the call, our fire chief, police chief, or Jim Buck want to weigh in on the restaurant partial reopening and or hair salons. Any comment from you gentlemen?
Sorry, I was on mute, Mike. I think you hit it pretty well. That was a good summary. We do have, like I mentioned before, we continue to have the prohibition on large gatherings, which continues until June 20th. I think that's an important point. And I believe June 1st is another milestone date, which will assist the salons and barbershops with opening, like you just mentioned. But other than that, I think, people are recognizing what's open. Keep in mind, business owners are not required to reopen. Many of them are choosing to do so and choosing to do so in a hopefully a prudent way so that they're maintaining the safety precautions we've mentioned.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Jim. I don't know, Chief Sword, if you want to weigh in as well.
Yeah, Mike, thanks. And again, in agreement with our emergency management director, Jim Buck, it would be great for businesses to take full opportunity to enlist the governor's executive order ability to open temporarily. And from the fire marshal's perspective, our primary concern is the health and safety of your employees, your customers, and the public as a whole. So the basis for protecting areas outside with specific recommendations is all the basis of protecting the public. So please keep that in mind, and take advantage of the temporary measures that the governor has provided to you, and get back in business.
Excellent. Thank you. Chief Howard, anything to add from your end? I know, folks, I think might be worried about enforcement, and I know you and your colleagues and officers have been out there, continue to serve throughout this pandemic, doing a fantastic job and being high profile. So anything you want to add with respect to this partial reopening?
So yeah, I think it's great also for the for the businesses. Excuse me. So as far as enforcement is concerned, we're pretty much going to be asking for compliance first. It really has to be over the top for us to issue a summons, if you will. I think that it's great that this is happening. I know a lot of us have been cooped up in our houses and want to get out into the public. I've seen a huge increase in traffic. So with that, I want to send the reminder that it's a holiday weekend, and typically what happens on this weekend is a lot of picnics, drinking. So on top of that, we are going to have officers out on extra patrols looking for DUIs. So just be cautious, have a dedicated driver, and enjoy yourselves and have a good time. Great.
Thank you, Chief. Certainly appropriate given this time of year, as people do want to get out, and all. You're right. You're talking about pent up frustration and getting out there, but just want people to be safe. And again, we're working with businesses, getting thermometers out, getting goggles and protective gear, all the PPE and the masks and so forth. So again, we're open and taking those calls, distributing that material. The state has designated us to do that, so we're doing that. And again, processing the applications as fast as we can. Again, it's a streamlined approach, and we're doing the best we can. There will be some, I'm sure, backlogs, but not a whole lot that we can't get to. So we'll do that. And we're now at the point where I'd like to check in to see if there are any comments, and I don't think I have any comments here yet on the public comments email that I see at this point. And I know that I think Anthony Esposito's on the call with us, and maybe could tell us if there are any posts at this point, any questions or posts. Anthony?
None yet, Mike.
None yet. Okay. All right. Well, then I'll go into our thank yous, I guess, and our positive messaging. We are working on some signage for the town that will get out pretty soon in conjunction working with the East Shore District Health Department. Just again for our parks and trails, reminding people please take advantage of that, but do your social distancing and wear your mask and so forth. So the community can expect to see signs pop up just as reminders. I think warmer weather. This starts this weekend. It's already out there. People are anxious to get out. So we'll be doing that. And again, back to our comment about the whole free mask giveaway. Can't say thank you enough to the CERT team in North Haven. Really, I think we had Jim, maybe total of 26 volunteers that we had out there in total for the event. It was just fantastic.
Yeah, that's correct. 26, and about half of them were from the North Haven CERT. That's correct.
Yeah, that's awesome. So big shout out to them. One community helping another. We appreciate that. And as always, the food pantry is open, helping those in need. That food scarcity becomes a problem in these economic hard times. It's certainly it's a fact. And they continue to take donations on Tuesdays from 3 to 6. Their number is 203-208-2581. We still continue to get donations of masks, which is great, and we thank those donors for being so generous and helping us out. So I think that's it. Anthony?
Michael,
Yes.
before we change gears, just I want to remind that our lunches are still being served on the Northford and North Branford side of town from the intermediate school and from Tutucket Valley from 11 to 12. Mike Auger and the food service has done a wonderful job. And last Friday, we served over 300 meals. So we're
Awesome.
continuing
Wow.
that ongoing Monday through Friday. And we're excited to be able to help and provide meals for our students and families.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Yeah. Thank you, Scott. You guys are doing a great job, and our senior center as well, doing the wellness calls and meals. Percentage wise, we can't match up with the school system, but again, we're putting out about 30 or so meals for seniors and making those calls to check in. So doing what we can. It's a tough time. We understand that, and it's economic, not just the health pandemic, but an economic hardship that occurs with that. So again, I'm grateful for your participation today, gentlemen. I appreciate it, and we'll continue to push out as much information as we can and share the resources when they come in, and continue to do this briefing every Friday at 1. So, and anyone else that want to add before we go? Okay, I'll check in with Anthony one last time for any posts or comments, any questions. Sometimes we have questions that we can try and answer for our residents.
Did we have any
No
viewers,
comments,
Mike?
I'm sorry. Yeah, wait a minute.
If we don't have
Anthony,
any viewers, then there's no.
I'm not sure. It's probably, you can't compete with this kind of weather,
No,
but
this is.
it's taped, recorded, so they can see that. But I guess we don't. No comments at this time, so I guess we'll wrap up there and see you guys next week.
Thanks, Mike.
All right,
Everyone,
guys.
have a great long weekend. Stay safe.
As well. Be safe. Enjoy the weekend safely. Take care.
Happy
Thanks.
Memorial Day. Take care.